When it comes to vision, you have this as one of the first steps in working with any new client. It comes back constantly in the coaching process. Why is vision the first step in your model of a real business?
When I began coaching recruiting promoters in 2007, the mistake I made was I assumed they knew what they wanted and that what was missing from their business, what was missing from them getting and achieving what they wanted in their lives and in their office was a lack of um, strategies and tactics. So with everyone, in 2007, I would jump into here's how to get a retainer, here's how to find new clients, here's how to hire and onboard recruiters. And we had a group of clients that did really, really well with those ideas, and we had a group of clients that did almost nothing with those ideas, and they were in the same, in very similar groups. And then the challenge became, what was the difference between the two groups? And the people in the group that excelled had a clear idea, or as a clearer idea of where they wanted to be 2, 3, 4, 5 years out in their business and personal lives, and how implementing these strategies would affect their livelihoods, how it would affect their roles, the quality of the clients they had. So the reason it's important, and this is kind of the litmus test for you if you're listening, is do you kind of show up in the morning and kind of attack your emails and maybe jump on LinkedIn and then maybe set a fantasy baseball or football roster, then loop back to your email to see if anyone's kind of sent you a note. Maybe I'm thinking about it. I got to call, that candidate to pre-close him or her on an offer. Or do you show up and you have a predetermined plan for the week that's in alignment with exactly where you want to be a year from now and 2 years from now? And if you're listening to this, my gut feeling with 90% probability is you're in that former group to some degree or another. You're kind of drifting day to day. And the absence is, the second litmus test, if I asked you, if you looked out a year from now, do you know where you want to be personally, professionally? What would make you really, really happy with your progress? And most people, when they're asked that, they take a long time to answer it. If that's you, then you know you probably need a vision, because it's in the absence of a vision, one tends to drift.
You talk about people drifting in the absence of a vision, but when they don't have a vision, what happens then? Or doesn't happen?
What happens is, the other thing is, they're bored and or frustrated. So if you're listening or watching and you're bored and or frustrated, uh, you probably can't answer that previous question. What has to be true for you to be really thrilled with your progress? So, and the reason is, to a lot of degree, if you drew a bell curve, a lot of people are in the middle and they're doing okay. They're paying their bills. They might not have the abundance that they want. They might not have all the things they want, but they quote unquote can't complain. The challenge is the brain works off images. And if you have no image for it to work off of, now you're feeling you're in filling a need mode. I'm filling a need to take care of my bills. I'm filling a need to take care of my family. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment upon that. But to really go to another level, one needs to go beyond need, and one needs to go on to, asking themselves, what has to be true for me to play a bigger game in my business? What has to be true for me to work with only the types of accounts that know, like, and respect me, and that when I say respect me, work my process, get back to me with timely feedback. Uh, I fill most of the openings I take with them, even if it's on contingency. If you're a firm builder, what has to be true for you to play the role you want to be? Do you eventually want to get yourself off of a desk? Do you want to build a business that can run without you? And where a lot of people get stuck there is they go, well, I don't know how. You don't know how right now, but you haven't also put a stake in the ground to say, I'm going to go through a process and figure it out over the next 12, 24, 36 months.
Should your vision be the only focus in your business, or is it just a piece of it?
The vision is, when we say a vision, it should be very specific as to what it looks like done. not a I will have, I would. And here's the other key for visions. A lot of people put a lot of shoulds in them. Other people's definitions of success. Other people say, I should have this type of business. A vision is something that's completely in alignment with one's desire. So I want to get off a desk. Well, it's not profit. I would make less profits, but my desire is to build a firm where everyone else is harvesting the accounts and I want to be the leader, the trainer, the developer. What is that for you? Uh, so it's not the only thing, but it's kind of if you sat down with an architect and for the very first time you were going to build a custom home, you're going to describe, I want a master bedroom suite that looks like this. I want the bathrooms to look like this. I want a family room that looks like this. Our kitchen, I want it like this. I want to find a piece of property that's on a lake, in the woods, in the city, whatever that is for you. But you're going to sit down with an architect and you're going to describe what you want lifestyle wise out of the home vividly to that architect. And that architect is then going to take that vision you have for a home and create a plan around it. So it's the first step. Imagine just going to an architect saying, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. That's it. So we're recruiting firm owners say to me, well, I want to have me as the building manager and I want to have 3 other recruiters. They don't talk about their clients. They don't talk about their revenue. They don't talk about their role. So same thing. How do you take that? If you were sitting down with a quote unquote recruiting firm architect, how would you describe that vision, even though you don't know how to build it right now? So that's the first step. Once you get that done, then you can start to inventory the gaps in knowledge, systems, and strategies you need to get there.